Good evening and welcome to this program. This is the Limelight and my name is Sima Apollo. Now, in fulfillment of the constitutional requirement under Article 101, Clause 1 of the Constitution of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni will be next week delivering the State of the Nation address. It is always a ceremony of presenting accountability to the citizens of what his government has done in the past year, but again to appraise the nation on the plans and strategies his government has in stock to run for the second year. And looking behind at what was in the State of the Nation address delivered on 4th June 2021, he acknowledged that the president mainly focused on the tribulations and challenges the country went through in the times of COVID-19 pandemic. COVID may have now passed. What should we expect in the State of the Nation address? To understand this, we will link up with a senior legislator from Kyamuswa County, the Honorable Moses Kabusu, and we ask those hard questions. Let's cross off and link up with Honorable Moses. You are live on Soul TV and welcome to the show, Moses. Let's go straight to what are your expectations in the State of the Nation address as it will be delivered next week.
Yes, good evening Apollo and good evening viewers. My name is Moses Kabusu, Member of Parliament for Kyamuswa. Kyamuswa is in Kalangala, Sese Islands. Yes, you'll note that it has now been a year ever since we took oath as members of Parliament, and it is a year and a few weeks ever since the President of the Republic of Uganda took oath as President. It is in his mandate that whenever a year lapses, the President will speak to Parliament. He opens up a new year of Parliament and he gives an account of the State of Nations address. On 7th, the President will speak to the nation, and we members of Parliament will have expectations from him. It is always a practice and a procedure that before the budget is read, the President tells Parliament how he has been running the nation for the last 1 year. Then he goes to Parliament a week after to give an appropriation of how the money he expects to collect and what he will be doing with the money. We as Parliament in the budgeting practice and procedures, we have now known how much money we have appropriated, but government, the executive, as a fountain of honor, he must address the nation in a budget speech to tell the public where he will spend money on which priority areas and here and there. But in this State of Nations address as Parliament, members of Parliament, those of us in the opposition and in the ruling party, we think President must tell us the state of security as it is today in Uganda. You remember members of Parliament were concerned about our soldiers the President took to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Not only soldiers, but there were also projects, the road projects that were ongoing that required security and security within. You have seen soldiers attacking Congo, rebels attacking Congo, and they also forced many people to flee as refugees in Uganda. There has been insecurity in Karamoja, where people have been murdered, killed in broad daylight by armed forces in a bid to disarm these people. They are called the criminals, but these people holding guns. So we want the President to tell us what is the state of the security of our nation, what are our sons and daughters doing in Congo, how so far ever since they went for the last many months, what have we achieved, and what does he think we shall achieve by him keeping our soldiers in Congo. On the international scene, everybody is accusing us of killing people in Karamoja because of the disarmament program. It is insecurity itself. What is government doing? There are people here killing others in Uganda, here in Kampala, in Wakiso. People who have guns, people who hold machetes and go and attack and kill people. The president, who has the mantle of security of this nation as a fountain of honor, must prepare something and address us, and we go to our people and tell them, this is how the president has told us, and this is how he thinks it will be in the next 1 year. You will also realize that this year, the last year, is when government had closed all schools. The education system paralyzed for some time. Whereas government opened up schools, you will realize that schools are limping. Most schools do not have teachers. The recruitment process has not gone on well. It is when he promised to increase salaries for teachers for some sectors, he said in a phased and staggered manner. And our children are going to sit exams after some year when some candidate classes had been omitted. Now we need him to tell us how will the education career revamp from the paralysis it suffered in the COVID era. We also think government or the president must vehemently come out to tell the public whether the economy will thrive. You remember a few years ago, a minister for finance said the economy is on taking off. He said it is taking off. But our people, the people we represent, do not show that there is any take-off signs. Our people are getting poorer and poorer. Our people do not have money, do not have any disposable income. They can't buy necessities. Our people are graduating from those ones who have to beggars now. The economy is staggering at a national level because projects, you will see, this is when shops or traders who are trading, multinational traders, are closing shops and closing businesses. You see factories closing down. I heard Atiaka Sugar, the factory that was dealing with sugar in the north, has closed down. Other businesses are also operating at a small scale. What is the intervention of government in helping these would-be employers of our unemployed population? What is government doing about it? We also want government to speak about, President to also address us about the skyrocketing commodity prices. You know, our viewers and everybody listening, when our people do have a lot of public outcry on, we cannot afford to buy this, government must come up with interventions. A few days ago, when the president addressed the nation on media, he had options and opinions. His opinions, in my view, yes, are personal, but they do not reflect what a state, what an economy, what a leader of a nation would have said to maybe to ameliorate the skyrocketing prices. When prices are high, government must come up with interventions. Are we doing anything to stabilize? Yes, there may be prices of commodities we don't manufacture here, but even those we manufacture here with the raw materials here are high. So we need the president's communication on what interventions government has on the skyrocketing prices. Yes, Apple, I hear you.
Honorable Moses, I wish to ask you. You've pointed out issues relating to the economy, relating to some sectors in the economy, but you have not pointed out anything related to the politics of this country. I don't know if after 1 year of the fifth term of NRM, you think it is time, probably a question around the politics of this country should be addressed in the State of the Nation address. And again, I don't know if you think the president should also tell the nation about the plans and strategies and the progress in the fight against corruption.
Yes, Apollo and dear viewers, it has been an ulcer who have been nursing, which is now graduating into cancer or corruption in Uganda. State agencies have been appearing before Parliament, ministries, departments of government and agencies have been appearing before Parliament to account for monies that we appropriated for them, or Parliament before had appropriated for them, and they have not used this money either, neither have they returned the money to Treasury. Many agencies and the departments are laying to Parliament false and forged documents on how they spent the money. You have had this department in State House, the Nakalema department, going to local governments and agencies, MDAs, to find out whether the money that was appropriated to them was put to use. And many of these people are giving false accountability. However, these people are shielded by the senior government officials who also eat the money, misuse it in the same way, and they are not penalized. Government must take a resolve this time. I want the president to tell us what is he going to do with the people he appoints into public offices to take command and the leadership of public resources, and they eat them. I remember a few days ago, the Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts was expecting the Inspector General of Government in her capacity as Inspector General of Government. But the Auditor General's report had indicated that while she was Minister in charge of lands, her duties and conduct were worth investigating. And if she's now the person investigating or handling the ombudsman's role, and she also has tainted hands, that is a challenge. What is the government going to do with corrupt officials? Elsewhere we hear, in Rwanda, I don't want to refer to Rwanda because it's a younger nation from us. In African countries, corrupt officials are retired in public interest. There was a law, the Honorable Simba amendment to the Leadership Code Act, where we said Parliament unanimously resolved that if you are found guilty of flouting or
well, we are still talking and speaking to the Honorable Moses Kabusu. He's the Member of Parliament representing Chamuswa County in the 11th Parliament. And we are, of course, asking him on what he expects to come out in the State of the Nation address as expected to be delivered next week. Honorable, you are right back. You can proceed from where you stopped.
Yes, now we want that the president commits himself whether government can do something to corrupt senior officials who take public resources. And we do, you know, the problem with the Constitution of Uganda does not give Parliament implementing powers. Ours, we can maybe investigate, we can maybe do recommendations, but we do not implement what we have recommended. The people who come to us and appear before us, we quiz them. We find out that they messed up with public resources. What we do is to recommend to executive to take up action against them. Executive does not do anything. So the president, in his capacity as fountain of honor, must show commitment. I remember when he walked from City Square to some place in working against corruption. I remember the late Olanya, who was speaker, said, everybody of us is corrupt. That one was a symbol that the corruption we have here in Uganda is not only an ulcer, but a cancer that we should treat, or we should amputate some body parts such that we get away with the cancer. With security, you know, Apollo and our viewers, there is now something that is going out around the country, and people appreciate it as a succession or Mohozi project thing. We are looking at the army, a senior army officer at a rank of a general walking around celebrating birthdays every week. And what he does, to some of us in the opposition, look at it as, is he opening up for succession? Is the president now ready to say something about succession? We do not mind whether it is a person from his blood. I heard last time he said, when he named that young boy Mohozi, he meant an avenger, somebody who would avenge to some people doing crimes and or who annoy him and he cannot revenge to them. He has an avenger. Is this avenger a successor? Is there a plan that he's about to retire? If he said it earlier, it will prepare the nation into a succession story that will not only benefit Uganda in the politics, in the economics, but will also save Uganda from the hodgepodge that happens when leaders give up or when people think about undemocratic means. I'm happy about the Moho's birthday parties. They are wakening up public to see that without him there may be a successor. Whether it's him or another person, he should come out to say that I'm now looking at preparing Uganda for a successor, whether his son or any other person ready, and we take it up from him.
Honorable Moses, that's very interesting to identify. And let me hear from you. Give us briefly, in just 3 minutes, your critical assessment of the previous State of the Nation addresses that have been delivered by President Museveni. Do you think the salient issues are captured and delivered in those addresses?
Half of that time, let me use it to say something about a sector that is holding Uganda's economy: agriculture, animal industry, and fisheries. Agriculture today, I remember the president makes jokes sometimes and says, if you can't eat bread, eat cassava. This suggested that there was some cassava around the nation. Deep in the villages, people had cassava, but all our people's gardens are not doing well. The droughts have hard hit the gardens. The people producing milk will tell you they have been affected by droughts. And so with the lake, those of us who are in the lake, there are scarce fisheries resources. Government must now do something. The president should come out to tell us what intervention is he going to do with the agriculture sector, both in animal industry, animal husbandry, and the crop, as well as the lake resources. Our people in the lake have been chased away by the army, have been beaten, they have been arrested, detained. Their property have been all impounded, and our people in the lake do not have money, do not have any resources. And surprisingly, scarce as they are fish resources, the prices of fish are too low, yet what we use to catch fish as fuel, fishing gears and equipments are high. The president had promised some time back that they would cut the taxes or they would exempt some of these. We now expect him to tell us what exemptions is he making in the agriculture sector and see that we can boost the economy through agriculture. However, the president has been making, I was a member of parliament some time back. I went into a sabbatical leave. I came back after 10 years. But when you go through the speeches, or you read the answer to the speeches he has been making, the president, unfortunately they look as appeasing speeches in nature, but when the year goes, what he says or what he has said is not done after a year. He has been talking about roads. We shall repair roads. We shall handle roads from this and this. And these roads, you remember when he opened up the Nakauka road, and people in Nakauka in Busiro, from Natete, Nakauka, it's now 4 years ago. You have never seen any grader trying to handle Nakauka road. So many other roads in the countryside are in an impassable condition. We want the president this time to improve transport, to commit more money on transport, such that our people, those ones who grow commodities, agricultural commodities, can have access to the market and sell their commodities. We want that the speech he gives this time do not only reflect the economics and the English he uses, but we should see some tangible results out of it. Otherwise, the public will judge us as if we do not advise him, and yet we advise him like we are doing today and now.
Thank you so much, Honorable Moses Kabusu. Thank you so much for your time. It's a privilege and an honor to have you on the show this evening. And I am sure you must be happy talking about transport. A few weeks ago, I saw the Ministry of Health launching ambulance boats. I think your people must be happy about that.
Unfortunately, those ambulances are still being held here in Entebbe, and we do not know why. Our people are telling us, did you go for showbiz? Ministry of Health, please bring our boats to our districts. Our people need to use them and facilitate them. They are a nice elephant, white in nature, but we want it to be working and see it and deliver services to our people.
Thank you so much once again, and thank you so much, our viewers. Moses Kabusu, the Honorable Member of Parliament representing Chamuswa County in the 11th Parliament. We really treasure your time, and we think from this discussion, then probably the public will be well aware and abreast with what they should expect in the State of the Nation address that will be delivered by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni come next week. My name is Simapolo. I must thank you so much for this time. And until next week on Friday, happy Martyrs' Day.